Hello folks, J77 doing another video game music review, and the music I'm going to be talking about is the theme songs of Grand Theft Auto. Um, I might as well just start over saying at first, when I first played the original game, I was not amused by it, I was not happy about the graphics, and I gotta say that the opening theme song was not memorable. It had an 80s rap, that which was okay, the beat was fine, but it really didn't, stuck to me. It was something that of pretty much the quality of taste, and it just wasn't my taste at the time. Not to mention that the game itself was not a very good game. Graphic-wise, I didn't like the over the top, the rooftop chasing down bad guys. It really was one of those games I couldn't really get into in terms of gameplay. The only thing I say that I actually enjoyed was I could able to take the disc out, the game disc, and place my own music, whether it be rock and roll or rap, and listen to my music while I was driving the car. Of course, most of the GTA games have a special program where you can actually do that, but that was one of the first ones that really I can remember straight up. That changed a little bit with 2. The theme song, they didn't really have a theme song really, but a trailer or pretty much a movie clip that had a fantastic opening. The opening to that was phenomenal, and you can actually YouTube that through YouTube the GTA opening sequence, and you see like what really looks like New York. Even though they never really mentioned New York, it mentioned in the city where respect means everything, and you hear the whole beat just go through that whole trailer, which is classic. Unfortunately, I can't find the soundtrack to that one movie clip. If I could, I would definitely will definitely put it as my top priority to download it and place it in my computer, because it is one of the best opening sequence I have ever heard in a video game. As for the game itself, I gotta say it was better, but not by much. The graphics was definitely improved. I will say that the gameplay was more tougher. I still didn't like the over the top gameplay where you're looking at it from a helicopter perspective. But the one thing that really pissed me off about that game, besides from the music was not that bad. The music was okay, but it wasn't. It's something I don't really consider as one of my top video game theme songs in there. But at least that was okay compared to what I feel was the worst mechanic in the whole entire game gameplay, and that is the saving. You couldn't save this game unless you beat the first level of the game. There was only 3 long levels, and they all long. I mean, you're definitely going to be having your work hand out to you, but it was frustrating to play these levels, because unless you have nothing to do all day, and unless you're very a pro, you have to literally beat this game and then save it. That's the only time we can save it. And let me tell you, these levels are not that easy. These levels take time, and you have to get a certain amount of points before they even consider clearing you. That was the whole thing. When you win, it's not like the other ones now where you can go back and save. It becomes a waste of my going to buy this game. I was not really a big fan of the first 2, so I just said fine, let it be. I'm not gonna waste my time. That changed though when my brother-in-law was playing the game. He bought the game, he played the game, and I'm like, wow, what is this? And he told me what it was. I said, this is Grand Theft Auto? And the games have really stepped up. I mean, it was back to its original adult format, which should have never been changed to begin with. And you had this great, beautiful scenery. The artwork was wonderful. The way that the gameplay was great. And I'm not gonna lie, when seeing that, I wanted this game. I had to have this game. I was not gonna wait till it gets on the greatest hit list. I bought this game, and I got this game. So the first thing I did was, before I played, I read the descriptions, And for some reason, I was kind of curious on how the opening sequence was going to be because, like I said, I liked it the first, second open. When GTA 2 came out, I liked it that sequence. I liked it that opening montage. But it was clearly not going to follow the footsteps of the first two. This was clearly going to be a totally different game altogether. And because the way music was playing a very big importance of video games, I was actually curious on how they was going to do this one. And as a result, I got a masterpiece in hand. I am not going to lie. When I first heard this song before I played the game, I was automatically hooked. This is probably one of the best theme songs in Grand Theft Auto's history. It not only sets up the tone for what to come, but it also gave us a clear idea that this was clearly a gangster game. Unlike the other two, where it was pretty much a thug stealing cars and getting recognition from underground, clearly this game sets up that this is a story about a person who's trying to be made inside one of the gang's affiliates. I actually enjoyed playing this game right up to the very end, but I'll always go back to the main theme song that is forever been imprinted in my mind. I'm gonna lie, I actually turned off the game several times during play just to hear this theme song again and again. And right now, even to this day, as you listen to this music, it never grows old. Clearly, this is one of the better games that I ever played, and the theme song is one of the best theme songs I have ever heard since playing the PS2. I'm now going to fast forward to PlayStation Portable, one of the first attempts for that Sony have ever did and make it a handheld game. The results were pretty good. The game was impressive, and the lifespan of the battery was pretty good compared to the other lifespans of other games that came in the past. Well, the first game, no doubtly, was Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. Now, with the success of Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, Vice City, and the other two games that came before it, there was no surprise that PSP was going to have their launching title of Grand Theft Auto. But my question wasn't the fact that the game was going to be good or bad. My question is, what theme song would he use to open this game up? As you all know, that my personal favorite was Grand Theft Auto 3 with their new gangster style theme music that went right through the opening credits. How would they top that? How could they top a theme that was classic in Grand Theft Auto 3 to a story that's actually a prequel to its predecessor? The answer? Golden. What more can I say about this theme song? The drums, the guitar, the horns, and the violin made this probably one of the best Grand Theft Auto theme songs since Grand Theft Auto 3. This theme music not only set me up for what would become one of the greatest gameplays I have ever played in a PSP, but it actually paid homage to what a theme song should sound like, or at least come close to sounding like when you're playing any game for that matter. The theme song alone really pumped me up for the gameplay, and not only that, it actually wanted me to listen to more of that theme song as I continue playing it again and again and again. Call me crazy if you want, but I actually appreciate music like this. It is a very golden achievement to actually match the feeling towards the game and actually get you pumped up to play the game well after hearing that theme song. What's more importantly, this theme song stayed in my head, which is something that many other theme songs, movies, or video games for that matter, have failed to do as I grow older. For me, this song will always last forever as one of the top theme songs that I ever have the privilege of listening to in a video game. Grand Theft Auto Vice City story took a little more time for me to get used to. Like the game, it started slow with me. I didn't know how to feel about it. But after hearing the theme song a couple more times, it really did caught on. What I liked about this theme song is that it kind of reminds you of Miami Vice when it was in the 1980s, and it really did have that Miami feel to it. Unlike Vice City from the PlayStation 2, this one had a more better homage towards the theme song, as well as the origin that it was trying to adapt. I actually thought that this was a better theme song than its predecessor game that it actually came before it. While it's not my favorite, I do give it respect for at least keeping the 80s style music in order, as well as putting some other theme songs, other music from the artists from that day. Playing the game took me some time. Yes, it was not one of my favorite games due to the fact it was slow for me to get used to. I will actually turn off the game and then only to have myself restart it. But once I started playing it again and again and again, and I started to getting harder and harder, I find it to be a very, very fun game to play. If anything else, the theme song and the game really was an impressive feat. Was it the best? No, but it is definitely not the worst, and it definitely is a good game, if anything else, to pay tribute to the 80s, but at the same time, trying to figure out how to stay alive in the Vice City heat. Now we come across Grand Theft Auto 4, which is pretty much like Grand Theft Auto 6 because there were other games beforehand that was released from both PlayStations and even the Xbox and PSP. To be fair, Grand Theft Auto 4 is actually the true tie-in to Grand Theft Auto 3, considering it takes place right at Liberty City, and it takes place about a few years after the events that happened at Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, here's the funny part about this. I played this in my friend's house. I didn't have anybody own the game because PlayStation 3 was pretty much expensive, and it's still expensive to me by my budget standards. But when I did play it, I actually enjoyed it. It was actually a fun game with new little toys to play with. The graphics was great, and the character was pretty much interesting. And although I was enjoying the game much, I was kind of curious in how that the theme would work. What would it actually do to top all the other themes that came right after 3? Would it be any bit as epic, or would it be a big letdown, or pretty much in the middle? Well, the Soviet Connection pretty much answered all that questions and more. The Soviet Connection is pretty much a standalone theme song of the Grand Theft Auto 4. You can't really compare this soundtrack to any other soundtrack, and believe me, that's a good thing. It is different, very, very different, and very, very good. Deserving of being one of the top 10 best theme songs of the video games when it was released. I will say this right now, when I heard this song, I didn't know exactly what to feel about it. I didn't know whether to actually praise it or not. But when I heard it more than one time, I actually grown to enjoy listening to the orchestra do their thing in such a very fast pace. While I must admit my experience with the gameplay itself is very limited due to the fact I never owned the game and I never really played it, to its fullest, the theme song alone kept with me to the point where I actually bought it on iTunes. It is a fun song to listen to, and I gotta tell you, it is definitely one of the top-notch theme songs that actually came out that year. Honestly, well, that's all I have for now with the Grand Theft Auto theme songs. But I will return to this area while I review Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. There's a lot to be said, both good and bad, about the game and the theme song that came with the game. But that's a discussion for another time. Until then, this is J77 saying take care and God bless.